This is quality content. Dude is my age. Marcus is my age, and he's got like 50 years of fucking experience.
Because vote the fuck out of her chance.
Louis Armstrong was the midwife that helped birth ska from the cloaca of punk.
You guys heard it here first at LTN Media. There's packs of wild stray dogs that control most of the major cities. Anytime you just hear, almost the lava. It's like, oh shit, it's about to go down.
What's going on, guys? I'm Dave. Welcome back to Less Than Normal, the only show on the internet reminding you that you are what you eat, which makes me a pussy, Chris a dick, and Bree confusing. What's going on, guys? We have a great show for you today. We have some new music releases we're going to be talking about, as well as we have some other like topical news. Yeah. I don't have to be. I choose to be, because unlike some people, I have that choice because I am funny. I'm not saying you're not. I'm just saying, if you have the option to be funny, that should always be the choice you pick. Unless you're at a funeral. I learned that lesson the hard way. Look, all I'm saying is the funeral roast shit that Smosh does, I've been doing that shit for decades. It's usually not as well received. I do that a lot too, Bree. Don't feel bad. Does better shit in woods. No. That is incorrect, Chris. It fucks up my stomach half the time too, Bree. You are. That's why it's called Taco Hell. Because he's a pussy. Fucking try it again.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're
All
good.
right.
Testing.
Well, this is our weekly. We can't be heard. It's part of the show now. Oh no, it's fine. Thank you actually for telling us.
Don't be sorry
Zach.
for being wet and naked, boy.
Mm. Can
Like
we
I was
get
saying,
the cum emote in chats?
like I was saying, I could talk about one of them because A24 agreed to the strike rules, so I think I can talk about that one, but the other ones I cannot.
That's fine. Hey, I just wanted to know if you had continued to go.
Yes, and then yeah, I see two
Quieter.
this weekend.
Garfield, dude, chill. Dave, anything exciting for you? I know you started Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay, so I'm going to make this as concise as possible. But there's a lot. When I finish the game, I'm going to dedicate a whole segment to talking about the fucking game and what it means for the franchise. But I feel like that's going to be a ways out because I have probably 90 or 100 hours in the fucking game.
Ow, Garfield. Right.
Over the course of the last week, mind you.
Is that what you were playing when you streamed for almost 40 hours?
Yes.
Oh Lord. Must be good,
I don't even
then.
feel like I'm half done with the game.
That's fucking bananas. Wait,
Now,
so I must have missed when this stream happened.
It was last Wednesday.
You streamed for almost 40 hours last week.
No. I streamed
It was over
for
30.
40 hours consecutively
I know.
last week.
That's Garfield, homie, you just fucked my light up, bro. My whole life.
No, it was over 30 because at one point I got in and it was like 31 hours. I was like, Dave,
Yeah, no,
please tell me
it
you've been to
was
sleep.
39 hours, 53 minutes, and 17 seconds.
That is absurd.
And 32 of those hours were playing Tears of the Kingdom. So I've been playing a lot of Tears of the Kingdom. I haven't been doing it all on stream. I've been doing a lot of exploration stuff off stream because I can't be live literally all the time. I've been trying to save things that are story beats or seem like they would be more interesting to do on stream. But this game tickles every fucking part of my brain. The engineer part of my brain is like, guys, I designed a machine that I can kite enemies into that just grinds them up and spits the drops out the bottom. And they can't hurt me because I am in a cage. I can literally stand in a cage, kite enemies towards me, they fall into a pit and die. And then all of their drops get funneled to me. Because you can set up conveyor belts by turning the one guy up, just turn him upside down. And instead of him running on the ground, his treads act as fucking conveyor belts.
That's nuts.
Dude, it's like I could build a whole fucking mob destruction factory if I could find a way to spawn them.
Yeah.
And just crank out parts. I've built multiple different flying machines. There are multiple different ways you can fly. There are wings and fans, which are more like propellers. There are hot air balloons that you can build that function.
That's insane. So it sounds like Nintendo just went off.
The hotter the fire is for the hot air balloon, the faster the hot air balloon rises too.
Yeah. That's nuts.
When you jump into water and you get out of water, you're wet for a while, and depending on what the temperature is outside, because there is an active temperature monitored in every fucking part of the map, the warmer it is, the faster you dry out. If you stand next to a fire, you dry out faster. Like, there's a bunch of stupid little attention to detail like that. That honestly, I kind of expect from Nintendo, right? Because Tears of the Kingdom, in my opinion, the main story beats of Tears of the Kingdom were originally intended to all be part of the same game as Breath of the Wild, possibly under a different name entirely. But it was too big to make one game. Like, it was just too fucking much. It was never going to get done. So they made it 2 games instead. Which is fine, because there was plenty of game in the first game, and there's 3 times more game in this game than there was in the fucking first game. I don't think that's the crazy thing is I don't think that's an exaggeration. I think there's
Right.
legitimately 3 times more content in Tears of the Kingdom than there was in Breath of the Wild. And the biggest chunk of the map in the regular like overworld where you like talk to people and shit is essentially the same fucking map, but there's all sorts of new
Yeah.
shit to do because of clever writing.
Wow.
It's been a fucking experience. I also, for the first time, played Disco Elysium, and that's another
Yes,
game
that game is great. That is a great game.
I'm going to be getting back into, but I died, and as that run is over, and my run of Tears of the Kingdom is not, I'm
Tears of the
probably going to
Kingdom,
keep
you're
doing.
gonna play, yeah.
Yeah, Tears. Oh my god, it's so good.
We just got Dave started.
Earlier today, I built a car, right? And then I built a little robot who sat on the car but wasn't connected to the car. Otherwise, he would activate with the car. With a little thing to keep him from falling out. I would just roll up on a group of enemies, toss him out of the car, turn him on. He'd just roll around and zap the fuck out of people with the laser beam attached to his face.
Dave, you created a Legend of Zelda R2-D2.
I named him Phil.
That's
And then I realized
yes.
I named my horse Phil, so I started calling him Ted.
There you go.
Well, the horse that can pull things is named. I have 4 horses, only one of them can pull things because 2 of them are Epona, which I don't think is supposed to be able to happen.
Mm.
And the other one I named Unit because the horse is big enough that Link can almost walk under him. You can
Jesus
go hunting.
Christ.
There are thousands of different combinations in which you can cook food that all like make the same dish but with potentially different effects.
Right.
There are a bunch of different dishes overall though. You can go hunting, you can like go gathering for like fruits and veg and stuff for cooking. I'm sure there are 120 shrines just like there were in Breath of the Wild. There are 4 main dungeons. I found many dungeons unrelated to the main quest or the shrines. There are just other additional dungeons. There's a whole huge underground section where you can mine resources. Specifically Zonite, which you need for upgrading your batteries. Because you carry batteries with you to power all your fucking machines. Like,
Dude, my man whipped out a fucking tablet. I'm like, what is this?
Oh yeah, that's been since Breath of the Wild.
It looks like a Switch though, which is funny.
Yeah, the one in Breath of the Wild did too. They're different devices though, because this is the Pura Pad, and that was something left over from the ancient Sheikah, which got reverse engineered into the Pura Pad.
Right.
But it had to be a different device because that device gave you access to all the powers from Breath of the Wild, and you have a whole new power set. Which includes, oh no, that guy just pushed a rock down the hill at me and is chasing after the rock. I'm going to zap the rock and it's going to reverse direction and roll over him instead.
Jesus Christ.
How the fuck am I supposed to get way up there? Well, I'll just stand under this and swim through the ceiling to the top of whatever's on top.
Mm.
The main ability that you have is called Ultra Hand. So Ultra Hand allows you to pick up and move and manipulate objects in the world a lot like Magnesis would have, right? Except you can also glue objects together to make things. And that's where the engineering aspect comes in. There are 27 different Zonai pieces of equipment, which you keep in little... So you know the, like... Okay, you know that a gumball machine is a gotcha machine, right? Like, if they give things other than gumballs. So there are those all over that you get this other resource that you can use to recharge your batteries quickly, or that you can funnel them into these machines to get all these parts out of. But the parts are random, and I never have enough fans or big wheels. And I always have too fucking many. I have like 30 small wheels. But the problem with the small wheel is, if it's... Well, so difference between car and truck, right? So if
Right.
you're on a nice flat surface, the small wheels are fast, they're fairly agile, etc. But you hit any kind of roughness in terrain, you're fucked. The other benefit of the big wheel is you can set up paddles on the sides of them if you set up flotation devices right. So if you drive into the water and you make your vehicle so it's buoyant enough so that only half the wheel is in the water, you can set up paddles on the sides of your wheels also.
I'm just sitting here just watching how bored Bree is with this conversation.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. There's just...
So
Dave just sounds very excited about it, and I'm just like, I don't.
well, not only is the game probably fantastic, it's Zelda. And what is one thing Dave loves?
Zelda.
So
Always have.
yeah.
Don't you have
So
a onesie of Link?
Yes.
so don't you have the fucking shield behind you?
No, the shield is Captain America's shield.
Ah. Is there not a shield next to it?
No. No, I do not have a Hylian shield.
Hmm.
I don't in the game either. I can't figure out where the fuck it's at. I still don't have the Master Sword yet. I'm 100 hours in. I don't have, like, the sword that is Link's.
I just want to point out that he is 100 fucking hours into this game. Dave, when did you start playing?
Last Wednesday.
Okay, that's fucking ridiculous, my guy.
He's enjoying it.
I see.
I
see.
think I can verify how many hours I have for sure.
That's crazy.
For this game, I got my capture card working on this fourth monitor that I can't hook up to my PC anymore because I had to remove the second graphics card. So my capture card now outputs to this monitor, which is cool. Oh, I'm still very underground.
I am excited. I am going to another concert tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, where are you going?
Super hyped. I'm going to see Volbeat and Hailstorm.
Yo,
dude, I've seen Hailstorm before. I love them. They're one of my favorite bands. So I'm hyped. And Volbeat doesn't come to the US a ton, but they like never come to Connecticut. So
I'm expecting 30 snaps on Snapchat again.
No, I'm not going to do that to you guys. I'll probably do it to my story because I'll save them. But don't you fucking judge me.
No judgment at all.
Don't you fucking judge me.
I would never.
We got to get you better at sarcasm. You can't make it obvious. Come hang out in the Northeast for a little bit. We'll teach you how to be sarcastic.
It will not tell me how many hours I have in this fucking game.
Dave has broken the game.
No. It's just not an option anywhere.
Yeah. Today's whiskey of the week. We're going all class with my new Glencairn. This is a really fancy glass for fancy whiskey snobs. Not like myself, but this is a Bushmills 10-year. It's a single malt Irish whiskey, and it is fucking fantastic. It was a gift from my boss, actually, which is kind of cool. So, we fancy pinky out with some real nice shit again this week. Because the last one was the Eagle Rare 10-year. And I have a buddy who has a bigger collection than I do, so I want to see if he'll start hooking me up each week with something new. Which will be dope. Right. So, I think we should get the sad stuff out of the way. Between last week and this week, we had 3 celebrities pass away. We'll start with the first. Last Wednesday, singer Sinead O'Connor passed away at the age of 56. She was a very prominent pop figure in the 80s and 90s. She had a lot of great songs. Her most famous, Nothing Compares to You, I would say is probably her most famous song.
She also has a very Irish name that is hard to spell.
Yes. I don't think I spelt it fully right. I think I was close.
Well, it's like the name Siobhan.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not even spelled close to how it's pronounced.
Because I know Siobhan is spelled Sioban.
Something like that. I think there's an H in there somewhere too.
It might be.
Yeah. Like, shout out to any Siobhans and Sineads. Like, y'all are the real MVPs and
And
Saoirse's.
Saoirse's.
Yeah, I was to say Saoirse's another name. Also, shout out Saoirse Ronan. Badass fucking actor. But yeah, like, shout out to y'all with the wild names that are hard to spell. Y'all are the real MVPs.
Well, and I find it funny because, you meet Irish people with names like Saoirse and Siobhan and Sinead, and then, there's Danny.
Patty. Like, just...
Patty.
Like,
Luke.
right. Luke, yeah.
Luke was apparently really common in Ireland in, like, the 60s or 70s for some reason.
Yeah, that tracks. That tracks. Also another one that happened, like 4 or 5 days ago. Paul Rubens passed away. Most of you should know him as Pee Wee Herman. I'm not exactly sure how old he was. I can't remember. Was it cancer? I think he had cancer. I could be incorrect.
I don't know. Well, and the thing is, like, so Paul Rubens got a bad rap.
For like one thing he did in the 90s.
Time ago, like a couple of decades ago.
70. He was 70.
70, okay.
Because, and I want to say, the words that people were saying were, he was caught masturbating in a movie theater. The details that get left out is he was in an adult movie theater.
Yes.
Where that thing is still kind of frowned upon, but also,
a thing that was, happening.
Well, no, and to make matters worse, people are like, well, but like he has money and he has this and he has that, why can't he find a woman or whatever? I'm like, okay, but you also have to consider he's Pee Wee fucking Herman.
Yeah.
And I don't think that person, and him as a person was very different than the character.
Of course.
But it's hard to separate that character from him because it is so distinctly him, right? It's not like Superman, where a bunch of people played Superman, but Henry Cavill was, the most recent.
Right.
It was one of those things where it was like, no, there's, shit here.
Right.
But yeah, I remember watching Pee Wee Herman try to get his bike from the basement of the Alamo with my dad. And it was pretty fucking great. So
yeah, I was never, I don't think I was old enough to appreciate Pee Wee Herman for what the character was, because by that point it was,
right.
the 90s, and he was starting to fizzle out a little bit and such.
Well, and he had always been portrayed as like a child's character, I think, which was a big backlash. But that show, if you watch it as an adult, is not made for children.
No.
I just remember Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I don't remember the show. I know the movie.
Yeah, where he got his bike from the basement of the Alamo.
Yeah.
I remember I can't remember the character, but the one where he's talking to a woman and then she just turns to him and it's that terrifying claymation face.
Oh yeah, tell
Marge?
him Big Marge. Tell him
Marge.
Big Marge sent you.
Oh, Big Marge, yeah.
Or Large Marge.
Large Marge, yeah. Oh yeah, but yeah, and also the other day, actor Angus Cloud, who played most famously in the show Euphoria, passed away at 25. Very sad. I don't know how much of the details are out, so I don't want to say anything out of pocket. But
there aren't any details.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of speculation and details of things that,
yeah. So obviously,
has not been released.
Very, very sad. Our thoughts go out to all of the families of these people. So it's wild how it happens in threes. What?
Continue. I'm just in the middle of an existential crisis. When it resolves itself, we'll fill you in.
All right. Anyway, I do want to lighten the mood a little bit. I know we don't really do sports anymore, but I thought that this was cool. Earlier today, NASCAR released their inductees for the 2024 Hall of Fame class, including Jimmy Johnson, who is a 7-time champion, 83 wins, first ballot, unanimous, one of the best ever, no question. His crew chief, Chad Knaus, who also won seven championships with him. Donnie Allison, who is part of the famous Alabama gang, and Janet Guthrie will be receiving the Landmark Award for Outstanding Achievement. Janet Guthrie is probably the most successful woman in American motorsports history. In 1977, she became not only the first woman to qualify for the Daytona 500, she also became the first woman to qualify for the Indianapolis 500 later that year. She has, I believe, 10 career top 10 finishes in NASCAR Cup Series races. I can't remember how many 33 starts, 10 top fives. I'm sorry. But still, a pioneer. I believe she's the first woman to be inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame as well, which is super, super exciting. It's nice to see her finally getting recognition from NASCAR. I'm sure at some point she'll be inducted into the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Hall of Fame, which if she's not already. But yeah, I thought it was funny that there was a question that Jimmy Johnson, was going to get in. You didn't win 7 championships and be like one of 3 fucking people to do it and not. So, yeah. That is a big horse, Dave.
Yeah, I'm showing it on screen now. That is Unit.
That is a
I
big
wasn't
horse.
kidding when I said it was fucking massive.
Jesus Christ.
I saw that horse standing next to other horses, and I went, oh, is that some sort of horse god boss that's going to breathe fire and try to kill me? Like, I legitimately thought I was going to have to fight this horse. That's how, like...
Right.
You can see in the picture. It's fucking huge.
Oh, yeah. I feel like Clydesdales would see that and be like, fuck that guy.
Right. Yeah, no, this motherfucker's
Because
18 feet
Clydesdales
tall.
are big fucking horses.
I want to point out that I am Link's height away from his front hoof. Which means Link looks taller compared to the horse than he actually is, but he's on slightly lower ground. So that's about where his head
Fucking
hits.
crazy, dude.
That is a big horse.
Those fucking claws, bro. Yeah, that is why. Do we have anything in the realm of video games this week that's like noteworthy?
So I have been doing a lot of research into one particular video game franchise at the expense of looking at other games that are coming out. Because so and again, I'll do a whole segment on it later. But this game changes the entire franchise, potentially.
Right.
In a good way. That makes it easier for them to continue making really good games instead of having to fill it in with bullshit. Outside of that, hang on, let me pull up my list.
I know, like, the common ones were like 2 or 3 weeks away from the new Madden, which it's probably just copy and paste from this past year.
Baldur's Gate dropped today.
Oh, yes, that's right.
I just had to look to see what the date was.
It did drop.
Oh, excuse me, it drops tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow.
F1 Manager came out on the 31st. Disney Illusion Island came out on the 28th. There is an Expanse Telltale game.
Oh, really?
The Entropy Center came to Switch, Zach. Zach played the Entropy Center on stream. Zach, shout yourself out. The Entropy Center
Shout out
was
to our
really
glorious
fucking
mod.
cool game. Yeah, no, it's Double Dragon Gaiden Rise of the Dragons came out. New Ratchet and Clank
Hey.
came out. Remnant 2 came out.
Ratchet and Clank should be available for PC very, very soon, if not with the new release.
No, it's already available.
Is it? I may have to check that out because I fucking loved the first Ratchet and Clank
Well,
game.
Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart it came out on PC on July 26th.
Okay.
Yo, Zach, you were playing The Room? The Room series is good. I have a couple of them for
The
my
Room is
Switch and a
good.
couple of them on my PC.
We are also...
And I tell you what, game sucks to play on controller.
Oh, I'm sure. We're also a little less or a little more than a month away from the release of Starfield.
Which, okay, so here's the thing.
I'm actually
them
curious because,
releasing-
we've kind of talked a little bit about it, but, I'm actually curious on what your thoughts are going into this game. Because this has been a game that's been talked about for a long fucking time.
So Starfield is the Bethesda one, if I
The
remember
Bethesda
correctly.
one, yeah.
Okay. 16 times the bullshit and it just fucks you. Oh, The Room? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
I was
fair.
like, what?
I thought he was talking about Starfield. And I'm like,
A Viking's a wizard, apparently. Oh, yeah. You know what, though? Honestly, though, Viking, that's fair in some ways.
Hang on. I'm curious to see what happens here because the Bethesda dev teams have always put a lot of care and effort into the projects that they do, with two notable exceptions, Fallout 76 and Rage 2.
I was gonna say most likely Fallout 76, but it's a good game now.
It's a good game now. Yeah, it's
the same as No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky was dog shit, and then they fixed it.
And the thing is, after Microsoft absorbed Bethesda, they had a huge fucking push to fix Fallout 76 because the Fallout franchise is a moneymaker, but only if they can salvage the reputation of the series.
Yeah, only if the game is playable and people actually give a shit.
Right.
To put it the blunt term.
Right. I'm cautiously optimistic
what's up, gamer?
for Starfield. Because I've seen really good things happen with other development companies under Microsoft's tutelage.
Okay.
Because, for instance, Mojang, who got absorbed by Microsoft, it's the company that developed and makes and works to this day, still works on Minecraft, right? And Mojang is now a team at Microsoft, but Minecraft is still their baby, right?
Right.
That's one thing that Microsoft seems to do is when they buy these products and companies, as long as they're not fucking up, they keep the team that's working on it. But I don't know if you've noticed, ever since Microsoft picked up Minecraft or picked up Mojang, the Minecraft dev loop has been a lot more consistent.
Not only that, PC and console updates are becoming closer to each other as time of release, as opposed to where they used to be. That used to be a month and a half between what PC updates would give you down to console. So it seems like they're coming out, if not at the same time, very close to one another, which is huge, And not only is Bethesda dealing with Starfield, they've been a part of developing the reboot of Forza Motorsport. So they've been working with Microsoft Studios in Turn 10, which again is another company owned by fucking Microsoft. But they're helping with, I want to say, the game engine and the physics of it to help it feel more realistic. Think they're trying to compete with iRacing. I don't fucking know why, but I'm very interested to see.
Hang on. No. There's something going on there because Bethesda is not the company you have come in and help you with the physics engine, period.
Well, I think it's more of a tweaking to a physics engine. Because the engine that Turn 10 has been using for the past like 4 Forza games has been spot on. I think they want to take this one less arcadey and make it more of a racing sim, kind of along the line of Assetto Corsa, R Factor, iRacing, like those types of games. So I'm curious to
It's
see
just what we need. Another fucking racing sim for a bunch of tryhards to get their fucking dicks all in a fucking twist about. Fucking, we have enough racing sims. Make fun arcade racers, god damn it.
While I
Because
felt
for those of us who
slightly
don't give a shit
attacked, I
about
can
racing,
agree.
I just want to blow up my friends and have a good time.
Do you know what I'd love? I'd love a re-release, or I'd love for, just like an anniversary edition of Twisted Metal, because that game was dope.
Okay, so I don't remember who had the rights to it, but as I understand it, the rights, who has the rights for developing Twisted Metal games is kind of weird, because somebody bought the rights to a movie, but there was weird question marks as to how some of that was worded. I feel like that's a thing that happened.
It's a TV show.
Okay. But I feel like, and they're gonna make, I'm sure they're gonna make games. I think they're just trying to figure out where the license actually sits.
So
like,
the
for sure.
The game itself was developed by Sony Interactive. So Sony,
but Sony
holds the
Interactive
cards.
doesn't exist anymore.
Is it not? What is it? What is it now?
Sony
No,
Entertainment.
No, it's still a thing. They still have a website and everything.
Do they?
Yeah,
because I thought
it's still a thing, because that's what they base, or that's where all of their like Sony Studio game stuff comes out of.
Sony Interactive Entertainment. They added the word entertainment to the end of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's what
I was going to say. It's still
I was
very
going to say,
much so a
because they
thing.
changed their they slightly changed their name. But like, who's making the TV show? Because I heard something about a weird potential licensing thing.
NBC.
With Twisted. NBC?
Because it's on
Who is
Peacock.
owned by
It's
Sony,
on
so it shouldn't be a
Peacock.
problem anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
NBC is not owned by Sony. They're owned by Universal.
I thought Paramount was owned by No.
No. NBC
You
is
realize
owned by-
Universal and Sony have the same parent company, right?
NBC Universal turned into
NBC
Peacock.
Universal.
Or did it turn?
It's
Did
a
it turn
division
into
of
Paramount?
It's the division of Comcast. Comcast technically owns. Which is why Xfinity users get, like, Xfinity TV users get Peacock for free, because NBC Universal is owned by Comcast.
Hang on.
NBC Universal turned into Paramount Plus, or was that? No, that was No, wait, what was it?
Paramount Plus was what was Paramount Plus before?
I thought it was NBC
No.
Universal.
No.
Was it CB? No, it was something before. It was
Okay.
Paramount. I just can't remember.
Sony owns TV One General Entertainment Partnership, jointly owned by SPT, CBS Studios International, and NBC Universal. Sony does own NBC.
What? Then they must own Comcast, because last I knew, Comcast was sole owner of fucking NBC Universal. Fuck it. I own NBC Universal now. That's where we're going. I own them. That's for legal reasons. That is a joke. God, what the fuck was it
Hang
before?
on.
Now I'm trying to figure out.
No. I'm seeing something in this list that makes me question things. When did Sony acquire Bungie?
I don't know. What the fuck was it called?
Insomniac, I knew, because that's who makes Crash.
It was...
It was after their Blizzard Activision departure.
okay.
Okay.
Oh,
gonna
CBS
say
All
that's what I
Access
missed.
was what Paramount was before.
Yes.
I was like, it was called something,
It was
but it
called
wasn't
something.
NBC.
CBS something. Yeah.
It was CBS All Access.
Yeah.
They also own 5% of Devolver Digital, 4.9% of Epic Games, and they own Discord.
Do they? So they're the ones to blame. No. I mean, hey, listen, it worked out for them with Discord. I'll just say that.
They also have a 5% holdings in Bilibili.
Discord. Huh. Sony just owns a lot, huh? But needless to say, I would love to see a reboot or even a remake, like Anniversary Edition of Twisted Metal. That would be dope. And I'd love for a Need for Speed game to feel like old Need for Speed games, not whatever the fuck EA is trying to do with just remastering a bunch of games or making new ones and slapping old names on them.
Right.
Like, give me a yeah, I was gonna say like the old OG Need for Speed Most Wanted, which I think is probably the best Need for Speed game. I'd love to see that with like current, physics models, because EA, you own fucking Codemasters now. Do you know what Codemasters is responsible for and has been responsible for the last like 13 years? The F1 games,
Yeah.
the Dirt series. I'm pretty sure that they own Assetto Corsa now.
Do they?
Mastering code, yeah. Because I know Motorsports Games owns R Factor, which Motorsports Games is in a lot of trouble because they signed exclusive game deals with both NASCAR and IndyCar. And since that's happened, you know how many games have come out? One NASCAR game 2 years ago. They're also apparently they hold rights to like the 24 hours of Le Mans and all this shit. And I'm like, that's not a good business model. You guys should start making the games. And I think NASCAR they have a statement coming out, like a major announcement regarding console games, which I'm hoping to terminate. They're terminating their contract with Motorsports Games and actually going somewhere we can get a good game. Because I love the old school NASCAR games were great on console because they were just arcadey as shit and a blast.
Fair.
But I feel like Wreckfest kind of fills that void of like the arcadey demo derby style racing games.
I kind of
like the online is what it is, but I feel like the career part, it has the good replayability. And I mean, it's a great game if you just want to fuck around with your friends and just drive people into walls.
Yeah. No, that is
Go
that is
team
very true.
piss bag.
Go team piss bag.
Oh, we need to bring back Team Piss Bag, Dave.
I mean, maybe.
That was so convincing. Bree, are you looking forward to any video games?
Spider-Man 2.
Oh, that's right. When is that coming out? October.
6, I think. I know it's October something.
October 20th.
Yes, that's what it is.
Developed by Insomniac and Sony Interactive.
I'll have a great time watching my boyfriend play it.
He's not even going to let you play?
I'm not good at video games.
Neither am I, but I still do it mainly for my friends' enjoyment and ridicule. But I mean, I still do it.
I prefer to just watch. That's why I'm subscribed to a bunch of gaming YouTubers, because I just prefer to watch them play.
And no, Viking, you are 100% hyped for that expansion for Cyberpunk. How many times have you played that game? I still only played it for like 2 hours and couldn't do it.
And whatever the new Telltale game is, I don't remember what it is, but it's Telltale, and I like all their names.
Isn't that the Expanse game? Yeah, so the next game is The Expanse, which is based off a TV and book series.
Still just waiting for Wolf Among Us 2, which was pushed to next year.
Was it really?
Yes.
No kidding.
That's one of the only ones I've actually played versus watching someone else play. The Wolf Among Us and then the Batman ones.
Oh, yeah. I know, I feel like we're past the point where we're going to get like a shit ton of stuff. I feel like more towards Christmas we'll see some bigger releases. Dave's jamming to something over here.
Isn't that when all like the
It's the music that they can hear.
sports ones just because everybody asked for them for Christmas?
Yeah, because I mean, I'm sure we'll get another Call of Duty. Like, we fucking need one of those. Call of Duty is the fucking Madden of shooters. It's the same game every year, even though 3 different developers make it.
I've done is it on, what is it? I think it's the Ghost one. They have a zombie thing that you can do. I've played that and I'm really bad at it.
Oh yeah, no, most of them have zombies. Yeah, I feel like everyone's putting all this hype on Starfield. Like, Dave and I briefly were talking about it. I don't know. I definitely agree with them. Cautiously optimistic on it.
Starfield? Yeah, no, it looks
like it's Bethesda, so odds are they'll probably knock it out of the park. Oh, they finally decided to skip a year? Like, they should have done that 5 fucking years ago. Focused on making their games better instead of just putting one out for cash grab. Yeah, I have opinions on Call of Duty.
The first couple games, the one people really like those, the Modern Warfare, or whatever
games. So that was when I played Call of Duty, but I never played Call of Duty for the just for like the online part, because I never really got into the online shooter thing. But some of the campaigns were really good. Oh, Gamer, you're gonna love Game Pass. I love it. I've had it for a while. I use it on my PC now. I do a lot of the cloud gaming like Dave has done, because my Xbox is dying and I don't really see a point in buying the new Xbox if I can play everything on my computer, except for NHL. The only reason I would need a fucking console is to play the NHL games, because EA does not apparently want to put them on PC. The dumbest shit.
fair.
Yeah, you know what? That's fair. That is very fair. I don't know. Is it just me, or does it feel like this year has been really slow in general, as opposed to like the past 5 years?
It really hasn't, though.
As in terms of like the big games and stuff. Is it not slower this year? It just feels like it is.
No!
Maybe I'm just not paying attention like I used to.
We got a Zelda game this year.
And we did get a Zelda game this year.
Zelda,
hang on, let me pull up my fucking
Hogwarts
list again.
Legacy this year?
Hogwarts Legacy
Hogwarts Legacy came out this year. There've been so many games come out.
Redfall was actually good.
In October.
What word did you say?
Redfall?
Never heard of it.
It's that who made it? And it's on Game Pass. It was pretty good. What else came out this year?
And Star
I'm
Wars
scrolling
get
through
a
my
new
list.
game.
Persona 4 Golden, Monster Hunter Rise.
Atomic Heart, that came out. That was good. All right, yeah. So maybe I'm just not paying attention to fucking gaming like I used to. That's entirely possible.
Valiant Hearts coming home. Deliver Us Mars, which I need to play because it's the
Yes.
sequel to Deliver Us the Moon.
And Bree, you're thinking of Jedi Fall, the Jedi Survivor.
I just remember Goss playing it, so I was like, I think that was this year.
How many times did he die in that one? And did Brett keep score?
I don't know, because I think he streamed it in the middle of the night when I was sleeping.
Yeah, that sounds like something Maul would do.
Horizon Call of the Mountain.
Yes.
Which was a VR, not Call of the Mountain, Horizon, not Zero Dawn, but the one, the sequel.
Yeah.
But there was a VR one that came out too, apparently.
Diablo game.
Yep, the new Diablo came out. What else came out? Fucking
the Resident Evil 4
Resident
remake.
Evil.
I'm just trying to think of all the things I've seen when my boyfriend's been scrolling through the games to see what's coming out, and all I remember is
Kirby
Diablo.
game, sequel to Octopath Traveler.
Cult of the Lambs.
Cult of the Lamb came out.
That game is
and
awesome.
I'm skipping over just, trying to name like
the big ones,
quote unquote bigger games.
Yeah.
Anno 1800 got released on the new consoles, which is kind of big. Storyteller, Terra Nil, Dredge was huge.
I'm curious. I'm awaiting more news on the development of Gears 6. Because I think that's going to be the last one.
Like Gears of War 6?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll be surprised if it gets made. The Gears of War franchise has had less and less market share every year they've released a game.
They've already confirmed that they will be making Gears 6 to round the story out, but that's why I'm like, I feel like this is the last one. I enjoyed the last two.
I have enjoyed exactly 0 Gears of War games. They play like shit. The physics engine sucks. The controls are disappointing. And honestly, all of those things are so bad that I could never even pay enough attention to the story to know what the games are about.
You see, I enjoyed
Right, because you don't expect people to do their job well.
Wow.
A new series.
No, if somebody makes if somebody makes a passable game, you're fine as long as it's in a franchise you like.
I mean,
right? And they're all passable games.
I know,
but
Rip Dom, man.
Yeah,
Rip Dom's wife.
Fuck Dom's wife.
That man went scorched.
I hope the hordes of hell are pulling a train on both of them, making them fucking watch each other.
Jesus Christ, Dave. Do you need a minute?
Jedi Survivor came out. Tears of the Kingdom came out. We mentioned that. Age of Wonders 4. Super Dungeon Maker.
Yeah, dude, Dave has strong opinions on Gears of War.
Gears of War sucks. I don't know how they got the funding to make a second one. The first one was so fucking bad. I found out they were making a sequel, and you know what my first thought was? The second
no, but
Gears
I'm sure
of War
you're going to tell us.
It was being made. Is this a money laundering method? Like, why are they making another one? The first one sucked.
Well, it's pretty popular, so...
It's really not. Compared to any other shooter, it has like a 5% market
But again,
share
that's comparing apples to oranges. That's like saying Call of Duty's more popular than Halo. Like, it's just like...
They are both first-person adventure shooters. I'm talking about the single-player experiences.
I think it's unfair to compare shooters, personally, because they're all different. Unless it's like Battlefield and fucking
No.
Call
Time
of
out.
Duty
The things
or
I'm
like
comparing.
No.
The things I'm comparing are things all shooters need, like good fucking controls.
Wait, well, you and I are going to be very far apart on this till the day we both die.
Yeah, because the controls, and they never fixed the fucking controls. Every other shooter uses the same standard control scheme for a fucking reason. First-person shooters use this control scheme. Third-person shooters use this control scheme. That's the industry standard because it works and everybody is comfortable with it. And Gears of War said, fuck it, let's do our own thing and just shit something out and throw it at a fucking canvas. Do fucking better. Fuck!
At
All right,
least
so anyway.
Zach agrees. Do you feel better now, Dave? All I'm gonna say is for most of Nintendo, the fucking B button and enter. Like that's confusing shit.
No, it's not, because the B button is where the A button is on other controllers. So the buttons still do the same things. They're just labeled differently.
Fucking Nintendo. Why do you do that way?
Well, because Nintendo did their button layouts first, and then everyone else did it differently, and they just kind of stuck with what they were doing. Because Nintendo had the first 4-button controller with the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So you don't get to be mad at Nintendo for how their buttons it's an irritation
get to
for
be
me
mad
too.
at Nintendo if I
No.
want to be.
Like, it can be frustrating. But the thing is, they didn't break an industry standard by doing that. There wasn't an industry standard. And then they kept the standard that they set to not confuse their player base. So it's not like they went off the rails with some non-standard thing just to be fucking weird. They did it first.
Hey, Bree, are you having fun?
It's Chris's mic, gamer.
It's always my mic. My mic sucks. But I'm a broke bitch, so we gonna have to deal with it for a while.
Well, I would send you one of these microphones, but apparently
But none of them work.
Even though I've tested them all before and they all worked.
No, it probably
the
was
System
just you
Shock
for a while.
remake came out.
I'm curious as to where the BioShock series is, like, when we're gonna get more release on
We're
that,
not.
because they've confirmed they're gonna make another game. Unless that is rapidly changed.
Valve also confirmed a long time ago that they were going to be making Half-Life 2 Episode 3, and guess what we never got?
Yeah, but
Just because a developer
Valve
says something
thing.
doesn't mean it's going to happen. And after the reception of Infinite was good, but they pushed kind of past where the franchise was. And while it didn't make their player base mad, it wasn't the game they were expecting. So either they need to return to Rapture, figuratively more than literally, or they're either going to try to emulate the games they already made and it'll be boring, or they're going to continue trying the path they tried with Infinite but press it even further to see if it does better, and it's going to be poorly critically reviewed and the fan base is going to hate it because it will be decidedly not BioShock.
so I honestly, BioShock Infinite,
I thought Infinite was great.
my favorite. BioShock
It is-
Infinite's my favorite of the series. And
No.
BioShock is probably tied for my favorite video game series ever.
So Infinite wasn't a bad game, and I'm not saying it was, right?
It's just different from 1 and 2.
It's very different from 1 and 2 to a point where it didn't feel like a BioShock game.
Yeah.
And that's what the fans were upset about. They're like, hey, this was a good experience, but it wasn't what we wanted going into it, so more of that, please.
Yeah.
So if they listen, the game's going to be fan service, and when a game is all fan service, it's not going to have any substance, and it's not going to have the same impact. Or they're going to continue doing what they did with Infinite, and they're going to make a good game, but again, it's going to be decidedly not BioShock, which will just continue to alienate the fan base. Secret third option, say you're going to work on a third game, realize all of these inherent problems with trying to make one, and then just don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
Infinite wasn't bad. Infinite was great.
Infinite was great.
It just wasn't a BioShock game. Like, in the same way that Breath of the Wild felt very much not a Zelda game.
Not a Zelda game.
Right.
Because it's just
and there
super
was
open
huge
world.
community backlash on that. And Nintendo went, okay, well, we only told half that story. That's probably part of the problem.
Yeah. I was going to say, I can't say it was too critically fucking commented on because it did win Game of the Year when it came out. So
No. Everybody who played it, not everybody, I'm exaggerating here for effect, but people love Breath of the Wild. It is a fantastic game, but comparing it to other Zelda games, there are core elements that it is missing. Right? And that's what Infinite was like. So if they go if they do what Nintendo did, right, with the next BioShock game, and take everything they did at Infinite and continue on that path, but figure out how to make it more like the other games that people like, so it feels like it's part of the same, fucking franchise, it'll do fine. But that is their out, because the other two ends aren't gonna be long term. It's not gonna be good for the franchise, right? So if they can't figure out how to make a game that shoots the fucking middle, where it's a great gameplay experience and they get to continue pressing forward how they wanted to, while still satisfying it needs to feel like BioShock, they might not make one if they can't strike that happy balance. And I'm sure they're working on it right now. You know what I mean? And I'm sure there is a balance there to be struck. It's just whether or not they decide if they can find it, or even if they go that route.
The last released update was on the 19th.
And what are they saying?
That it will exist, but it'll be through 2K still. Cloud Chamber Studios, which is a new division of 2K, they are the ones that are going to be making it, but PS5, Series X, and PC are what it's going to be on, but they're saying right now it's most likely 24 or 25, depending on how much time 2K wants to put into making this game. Because 2K hasn't exactly been winning over gamers' hearts the past few years.
Right. Yeah, no, exactly, Zach. They're stuck in a weird point where they're like, plus there was just enough backlash about it not feeling BioShock enough that they need to incorporate. But I'm not saying it's not possible, because Nintendo faced the same problem with Breath of the Wild. First off, they went fucking huger than they've ever gone in a Zelda game previous.
Right.
And it felt like a Zelda game that was missing core Zelda components.
You could also argue the same with Halo Infinite. That was so different than anything 343 or Bungie had done with the series to make it open world. Like that was also another thing everyone was like, whoa.
Okay, but the thing is, everyone who was like, whoa, when they heard about it, once they played it, they were like, oh no, this is fine. This is how it should be.
It's so great. It's like
343 did a phenomenal job. Felt like Halo.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Right? And that's the important. I don't care if it's open world, linear, whatever. It just needs to feel like the game franchise I expect to be playing.
Right.
Like if I went to play, for instance, and I'm going to...
Okay, I guess that's fair. I liked 4 and 5 as well. I know I'm in a very small group of people that enjoyed them.
I also liked 4 and 5. They did
point.
Not feel like Halo games compared to like 2 and 3.
Yeah. that is a fair point.
But it'd be like if Mortal Kombat released, Mortal Kombat 11, where fighting was still kind of a component, but you also, had to mine and craft and like all of this other extra stuff thrown in. Yeah, it's still substantially the same game if you ignore all of the other stuff that they put into it. But all of the other stuff they put into it is needed for their gameplay loop to be satisfying, which means no matter how you play it, it's not going to feel like a Mortal Kombat game.
Right.
I'm exaggerating with something that's not going to happen, just kind of for effect, because that's the easiest way to illustrate the point.
But Mortal Kombat 10 and 11 were very different than original games due to like graphic update and just playability. Like it's a totally different game, it feels like. But yeah, Zach, you are right. It does play like Smash, very much so.
Yeah. Which some of the community loves. Most of that community are people who play Smash-like games,
right?
Who decided to get into Mortal Kombat. You know who hates it? People who've been playing Mortal Kombat since it came out on the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo. You know who doesn't hate it? Me, because combos in those games are dicks. That's why I don't play fighters. My fingers don't do that. I have to pee. And we can probably, I feel like we've talked about games for long enough.
Oh yeah, we can move on to our music segment.
I don't really have anything else to cover other than just know that like as more stuff happens, and I will do a brief breakdown of what I have in my head here, and I'll probably do a full ass, like long ass video on my own channel when it comes to breaking down the Zelda franchise as a whole for anybody interested in that. But yeah, that's Starfield, man. I want it to be good.
Yeah. I also have to use the bathroom, so do we want to just take a quick intermission, come back, and we'll come join to our music segment?
Watch this video again.
This is quality content. Dude is my age. Marcus is my age, and he's got like 50 years of fucking experience.
What the fuck out of her channel.
Louis Armstrong was the midwife that helped birth ska from the cloaca of punk.
You guys heard it here first at LTN Media. There's packs of wild stray dogs that control most of the major cities. Anytime you just hear, almost the lava. It's like, oh shit, it's about to go down.
One. Hey, and we're back. Chris is apparently real bad at peeing quickly.
There he is.
Okay.
It's about fucking time, bud.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm just giving you a hard time. You're fine.
Like an hour.
God, you were gone so long. Chat, Chris is back. Everybody say fuck Chris in chat.
Oh, I love you did go back to my empty ass chair. Wow. 69 plus 11. We're getting there, guys.
He's been fucked 80 times, Chris.
I need a cigarette.
Yeah. To do that math, I was like, is that 80? It is.
Also, I'm gonna need to replenish my electrolytes at some point here.
Tell you what.
Oh God.
If we can get that number to 69 plus 69 plus 1 by the end of the stream, I'll give out a random Steam key to whoever does the plus 1.
I'm willing to take that risk.
Yeah, no, exactly,
Yeah.
Zach.
I was gonna say, let the fucking spam commence. Zach's like, I have an auto clicker. Don't you fucking tempt me.
Yeah, if he does that, it'll break the bot, though.
You see, I mean, oh, that's so good. Music segment. Bree, who is your music corner? Who are you? Who are you
This
talking
week,
about?
I'm repping merch for my music corner. We returned to Bree's continuous Disney actors turned to singers. This week, if it'll load, here we go. This week, I'm showcasing the talents of a lady by the name of Haley Kiyoko. Prior to starting her music career, if you would know her, it'd be from one of these things. She appeared in movies and TV shows such as Lemonade Mouth, Wizards of Waverly Place, Insidious 3, and Scooby-Doo: The Mystery Begins. In 2015, she released her first big single titled Girls Like Girls, which got 151 million views on YouTube. She
Wow.
has recently released a novel with the same name, basically breaking down her life and what led to the song's release. This song gained her huge attention with queer women, and she has been coined as lesbian Jesus by her fans. Um, Between 2015 and 2018, she continued releasing multiple songs, all of which led to her releasing her first studio album called Expectations, which came out in 2018. She was the opening act for Panic at the Disco's tour Pray for the Wicked later that year. She has also appeared on stage with Taylor Swift and in the You Need to Calm Down music video by Taylor Swift. She was included on InStyle's first issue of 50 Badass Women, which also included Emma Watson and Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She also has a song with Kalani titled What I Need. And all of her songs and music videos highlight the experience of being a queer woman and inspiring fellow girls like her to speak and live their truth.
Hell yeah. I'm here for it. Dave, who is your honorable mention this week?
Our honorable mention this week is all the people who we've never heard of. So I can't tell you anyone specifically, but there are a bunch of bands that none of us have heard who I'm sure are fucking amazing.
Oh, yeah.
So this segment goes out to all of you unknowns.
Do you know what this also is a good time to say? Go to your local fucking venues. Go check out wherever you guys live, check out your local music scene, because as someone who's involved in mine and has made not only great friends with a lot of people, two of which helped found LTN Media, but you also find a lot of great fucking artists of all genres of music. So go to your local venues, go to your local
Plus,
bars that have
free
open
titty.
mics. Not always.
If you do it right, there is.
If you do it right. But no, like, go check out your local venues. I know there's a couple good ones that are in my area that I know people playing at them. So I might go and check that out. Local music, guys. Support it. We have something different this week though with our. Yeah, but there's nothing wrong
I'm
with some
doing
good rock
Musician
bands.
of the Week this week.
Yeah, Dave, this is the first week where I get to sit back and relax and let Dave handle our Musician of the Week.
I lost my vape. Oh, no.
Again?
Oh, I found it. Never mind.
I
I
say,
lost
so
a
that-
half ounce of weed that I can't afford to replace.
Yeah, I know, dude. I hope you put
Fuck
it somewhere.
you and your vape.
I hope you put it somewhere and then just forgot. Because at least if
All
you
right.
put it somewhere, eventually you'll remember.
In this week's Musician of the Week, we're talking about a group that helped pioneer not only the Christian hip-hop genre, but helped bridge the gap between like artist and consumer in a way that made people look at the content of what the music was, and not just regulating this type of music or that type of music to bad or negative or whatever. We're talking about DC Talk. DC Talk, at least at one point, was one of the better known artists signed to a Christian label. They were formed in 1987 by Toby Mac, Kevin Max Smith, and Michael Tate at Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia. They released their debut album, DC Talk, in 1989. The album was a critical and commercial success, and it helped launch the careers of all three members. DC Talk's music is a fusion of hip-hop, rock, and R&B. The group's lyrics are often positive and uplifting, and they often deal with themes of faith, hope, and love. They've sold over 10 million albums worldwide and won numerous awards. To talk a little more on that, they've been nominated for 6 Grammys and won 4 of them.
That's nuts. That's impressive.
Like, that's a big deal. As far as the Dove Awards, which are Christian music exclusive, and I don't even really think they do them anymore. They've been nominated for... They've been nominated for 21 Dove Awards and won 16 of them.
That's nuts.
Their first Grammy nomination was in 92. Their last was in 2001. And for Dove Awards, it was 92 and 2004. They've sold over 10 million albums worldwide. They've won numerous awards. They've also been credited with helping popularize Christian hip hop and bringing what would be considered quote unquote Christian music to a wider audience. Now, an important thing of note, without DC Talk specifically, we wouldn't have groups like Blindside, POD, Zayo. All groups signed to Tooth and Nail Records.
You always forget Zayo is technically a Christian band.
I desire thee and the touch of Armageddon.
I think that sounds like that is the Christian band.
Yes.
I think Dave was attempting to scream, and it was working well until he became the voice from Aladdin, talking about the diamond in the rough.
Oh, I'm not sick. I don't. He's
They
making
are
a joke
currently
about
on
me talking about
indefinite
my
hiatus. They released an album in 2001 called Solo. It was an EP, not an album, that featured 2 solo tracks from each of the 3 main artists, Toby Mac, Kevin, and Michael, whose last names I don't remember. Michael Tate and Kevin Smith. Nope, Kevin Smith is the chubby
Someone
comic
different,
book
yeah.
man.
Except for now, he's the skinny
hang
comic
on.
book man.
No,
'Cause he had a-
Kevin Smith. Kevin Max Smith. I was right.
Okay, there you go.
It just felt wrong for reasons.
Yeah, Zach, I don't think Bree is going to consult her demons today.
I can. I don't know what I'm consulting them about, but I can, and I can do it without coughing now.
It's funnier when you cough. Because you just...
But
Hold on. We get her
DC
weekly
Talk
demons.
is one of those groups that I brought up to Chris, and I'm like, hey, look, I know we don't talk about like specifically Christian music a lot because that's not really our shtick here.
Yeah.
But this group basically single-handedly opened up a world of genres to a huge number of people.
And like, I'm actually familiar with one of the members of the group, so
Toby Mac,
yeah. No, this is a Mormon stream, Zach.
Incorrect.
And a
No.
Christian
We're
Minecraft
not going there. Anyway, and like I said, without them, we wouldn't have groups like POD, Blindside,
Yeah.
Zayo, Demon Hunter.
Demon Hunter's so good though.
Project 86.
Switchfoot.
Switchfoot.
Skillet's current sound.
Lifehouse.
Lifehouse, yes.
Skillet's original sound. Skillet
Yeah,
sounded
you
like
know what?
Marilyn Manson when they started.
That is true. And then
Wanna
they
be
went
locked in a cage.
and then they went like pop, like industrial pop-ish electronica, and now they're heavy as fuck. Because I've seen them live. That's a good show. If you guys have never seen Skillet, they're fucking insane. I saw them with Godsmack, and the shit was wild.
Which is a weird pairing for a group that's still on a Christian music label.
I don't think they are anymore. I think they're with...
They're still with Tooth and Nail.
Skillet? I'm pretty sure they're with Universal.
Are they with Universal now?
I'm
Last I knew
pretty
they were
sure
still with...
they're
I
with-
think it was Tooth and Nail who they were with before.
They are with Atlantic and Warner.
That makes sense. Did Atlantic buy Tooth and Nail?
Maybe?
Because you know who else wound up on Atlantic from Tooth and Nail?
Oh,
POD, Switchfoot,
Yeah.
like everyone.
I think they've been on since 2006 when Comatose came out.
Okay.
And is since, because their music is very much so not like their stereotype Christian sound anymore. They are heavy as fuck. Godsmack, not only is the name incredible, they're a great band. They're a Boston band, so they play in Connecticut all the time. I've seen them a bunch. But Godsmack's an
Also-
awesome fucking band.
Ironically enough, they have nothing against God.
No, it's just a name that I don't remember how Sully talked about it in an interview, and I can't remember how it came up.
I know.
think it
I
was
saw the interview
stupid,
too,
like-
and he's like, a lot of people think that like
Yeah.
we hate God and stuff because of
No.
our name. We
No.
don't. He's all right.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
probably.
that's like Jonathan Davis when somebody asked Jonathan Davis about how the band Korn got their name. And it was some weird story about how Fieldy fucking was throwing throwing like corn kernels at somebody. It was a weird ass story.
that
but-
checks out.
Yeah. Yeah, you've listened to Corner Time and two. Like that makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
But no, so I felt it was important to talk about these guys because we've talked a lot about groups who've had an influence on a specific genre, right? But this group had an impact on, in my opinion, the entirety of music because they were the start of the transition between, oh, if it's metal, it's devil music from like some of the older folks, and oh, if it's hip hop, it's all about gangbangers and shootings and robbing shit. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
they were part of the big initial push moving away from that, being like, hey,
But-
you can be positive and still be in all these other things.
But they also were a band of the time. Think about in the 90s. Think about the bands that
Oh,
you
yeah.
had that did
No,
that.
no.
Red Hot
They
Chili
fit
Peppers are known
perfectly
for
where
that.
they were
Rage
in.
Against the
Yeah.
Machine. Fucking you get into like people like Public Enemy who very much so were hip hop, but they fucked with rock a ton.
Or another
that
good
was-
example, a little later, but Head PE,
Head PE, yep. Limp Bizkit,
which was
um,
rock hip hop fusion. Limp Bizkit,
yeah.
yeah, no, exactly.
Linkin Park.
They
like,
fit.
yeah.
But that's why they were able to do what they did, because they went, hey, we like this other music that other people are making,
KJ52.
but we want to make music. We want to make music that we like, but that still has the message we want to send.
right.
And so they fucking did. And it worked out phenomenally, not only for them, but I feel for music as a whole.
And for someone who, and Dave and I talked about, I didn't grow up with a religious background, and like a lot of the music I listen to has some of the Christian rock aspects in it, just because of I'm a fan of stylings in a song, and production and how a song flows. And out of this whole group, the one that I've definitely resonated mostly with is Toby Mac. Because Toby Mac, if you're listening to his music, it doesn't feel like Christian music. It's the same as like a Switchfoot or like Skillet, like those groups. He doesn't necessarily give that vibe off in just like the way he choreographs his lyrics and just how he puts everything together.
So they all did earlier on because they
Right.
had to.
Oh,
Right.
of course.
But then they were able to help evolve the genre or
Yeah.
the subgenre. In interesting ways. I love Switchfoot. I love like
Switchfoot's a great
Blindside.
band.
I love fucking like there's so many good bands that are decidedly Christian bands, like self-proclaimed, like they're like, hey, we think Jesus is cool.
Yeah.
You know,
Flyleaf.
but also
Flyleaf was one of them.
we like to make good music. Flyleaf was one of Oh my god. Yeah, Flyleaf is a great example.
Pioneers. I think their styles changed since Lacey left. But yeah, they were another one up there. And again, I feel like Christian rock gets a bad rep because of the religious aspects of the lyrics in themselves. But like as a compositional piece, a lot of Christian music is very well done.
Not only that, but you know what in most of the types of Christian artists we're talking about, you know what you don't get except for in the very early days where they kind of had to do it a little bit to make people understand.
Lyrics that are super preachy.
And even when they were quote unquote super preachy, they weren't super preachy. The song Jesus Freak is a good example. They're just talking about all of these people who are members of the counterculture.
Yeah.
Because you know what I mean? Like it's but it's like the crazy fucking people who say science and religion are mutually exclusive. You're a fucking moron.
Well, and it's also from the ends of like this is a lot of the same shit people like Rob Zombie and Marilyn Manson had to deal with their music, and Slipknot, like those groups who everyone assume has very satanic roots, and the reality is they don't. But that's the same aspect as a lot of
Rob Zombie a practicing Catholic.
Yeah. And also one of the sweetest human beings I have ever met. I've told this during Music Talk Mondays and like through other conversations and stuff, but I actually sat down and spent like 2 hours just hanging out with Rob Zombie and his wife at a concert one time. Like just bumped into him, we started talking, he invited my friend and I back to hang out with him, and we just sat and had a few drinks and just chilled. Literally the nicest people. So
yeah.
And I don't know his music, but I do know his movies. And with the kind of movies he makes, you wouldn't assume that he was a nice person.
No, his movies are fucking wild.
No, but
House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, the Halloween movies.
Halloween remake.
We're just gonna forget the Munsters remake exists because it was bad.
I didn't watch it.
I haven't seen it. I need to.
It wasn't good. I couldn't finish it. And I loved the Munsters. I couldn't.
I categorically disagree that it was bad, and I haven't seen it yet. You know why?
Because it's a Rob Zombie take.
Because it's supposed to be campy.
Oh well, true.
So there's legitimately no way to do it wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I'll have to give it another shot.
PG Rob Zombie doesn't sound like Rob Zombie. A movie made for PG instead of R.
Yeah, but to be fair, that's what people thought about Tim Burton too for a little bit when he first started his career.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went super PG.
Well, look at
oh, so do I.
With the pumpkin head skeleton, bro. I've
Nightmare Before Christmas.
tried to watch the movie 3 times. I've never seen it.
That's probably that's one of my favorite Disney movies.
Nightmare Before Christmas is a Disney movie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Didn't know that. Yeah, that man.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a pumpkin head. Jack Skellington. That's
Jack Skellington.
Oh, he does. He has a pumpkin head for like half a second.
But he's called the Pumpkin King
of the movie.
Yeah, Jack. He's the Pumpkin.
It's called the Pumpkin King. That's where that association comes from. Okay.
Halloween's finest trick or treaters.
Voiced by Danny Elfman, the legend Danny Elfman.
No. What I've seen of it, I like. I just either I fall asleep or I get distracted. Every time I've tried to watch it, it's been on like a second or third date.
Dude, Panic at the Disco did a fucking cover of This Is Halloween, and it's ridiculous.
I love how the name is still Panic at the Disco. There's an exclamation point in there. You got to pronounce it, so it's Panic at the Disco.
It's like wham.
Panic at the Disco
isn't a thing anymore.
I was going to say it's officially disbanded now. It's just he's just going to roll by himself.
For the last few years,
He's been Trent Reznoring this bitch.
It's just been Brendan
It's
Urie.
just been Brendan. He's had touring artists, like touring musicians and stuff to play the instruments and such. But yeah, he's just disbanding and he's going to do his own thing, which, dude, I don't give a fuck what
Which
he does.
he's been doing
gonna be
anyway. Just keep the fucking name, dumbass.
Oh, regardless, he's still going to be successful because it's Brendan fucking Urie. And if you've ever heard him sing, you know.
He puts on a good show because I've seen him in concert.
Oh, yeah. He sings so effortlessly. It makes me fucking upset that I'm not as good as he is.
Don't discount yourself. You are a good singer.
Well, thank you. But yeah, no, I DC Talk, I feel like the couple times they tried to reunite, I feel like probably a lot of their fans were excited to think maybe there's new music coming, and they just did it for like a tour or like a couple shows.
Yeah,
or something.
they get together every once in a while to do a couple of shows.
Yeah.
And those shows are typically they do some of their solo stuff, and then they perform a few of their old songs together, right?
Yeah.
Ow. I don't know. It's just
no. They're definitely a group that is worth it to talk about.
Oh yeah. And I wouldn't as far as like skill, talent, composition, etc., etc., etc. I wouldn't put them up there with a lot of the people who we typically talk about for musician of the week, because they were good, but they were good, right? It wasn't like they were groundbreaking in any area, except the fact that they stepped out of what was considered acceptable and just kept pushing until it was.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's huge. Johnny Cash did the same thing.
Yeah.
You know,
just blurring
Johnny
the lines
Cash helped
of what was
redefine country music.
And, oh yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like DC Talk, because of things that DC Talk did, they helped redefine, like it started the process of making people redefine how they view music and not lumping genres in with certain types of activities, etc.
Yeah.
Which is fucking huge, right? Because like there are a lot of modern like hip hop and rap artists who have nothing to do with the Christian music genre, who probably wouldn't be doing as well as they are now without them, just because of how that group helped transform how people see genres.
That's very fair. So first one that comes to mind is NF.
NF?
Yeah, he's.
I know. I
was
know.
gonna say
NF.
you'd like him, Dave. He doesn't.
His lyrics have meaning.
Yeah, he doesn't necessarily like publicly claim that he's like in the Christian genre, but he's like not
right.
He's also famous. He doesn't swear at all.
He's
got a cuss in his
rapper.
raps to sell records. Well, I do. So fuck him and fuck you too.
Think I give a damn about a Grammy?
Half of these critics can't even stomach me, let alone stand me. But
M,
what if you win? Wouldn't it be weird? Why? So you guys can lie just to get me here, sit me here next to Britney Spears? Christina Aguilera better switch me chairs so I can hear Carson Daly and Fred Durst argue about who she gave head to first.
By the way, NF has won 2 Dove Awards.
Okay.
You'll after the show, I'll show you some of his stuff.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
real
no,
good.
for
You'll
sure.
like him. You'll like him a
and
lot.
It's one of those things where like I really like Atmosphere, because Atmosphere, while he's not always positive, he does try to put a positive spin on things. Best Day is a good example of that, right?
Right.
But he could just be another rap guy gangbanger. Even with a song like Best Day, had it not been for the perception changing of hip hop, the perception changing of metal, the perception changing of rock and roll.
Right. And it's so funny how in like 2 decades we saw what was considered a quote unquote taboo genre stop becoming that like, oh, I don't know if I want to go near that, to
Right.
rock is so widely accepted. And it's funny that it wasn't for a long time too, because you think about how popular rock was in the 70s and into the 80s. Like, it's
But it
always
was
been a
devil
popular
music.
genre.
It was
Exactly.
rock.
Yeah.
Rock has always been counterculture up until recently.
Yeah. You look at artists like fucking Ozzy and Alice Cooper and like, you know,
Led Zeppelin.
yep.
Leonard Skinner.
Iron
fucking
Maiden.
REO Speedwagon.
Oh, shoot. Shout out to REO Speedwagon.
Fair. Big shout out to REO Speedwagon.
Big shout out to REO Speedwagon. They were fucking awesome.
But
yeah, and I think
no, and it's one of those things because with big changes like that, it's a lot of times it's hard to nail down like the integral part, right? But I feel like DC Talk was a huge part of that push.
Yeah.
And they're not like, I'm not attributing it solely to them.
No, but they definitely helped get the ball rolling.
I mean they formed in the late 80s.
Yeah.
And fought real hard to make a difference in how people perceived music.
Yeah, and I mean that's a big deal. That is a very big deal.
When I first started listening to DC Talk, I damn near got kicked out of the church I was going to. like I don't for those of you who don't understand like that culture at that time, you listened to gospel music or nothing.
Yeah.
And fuck gospel music. Like, yeah, the message is great and everything, but like, it's boring.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of amazing vocalists.
Gospel music is that shit.
Modern gospel is very different than what it used to be too, though, to be fair.
Oh, yeah.
Modern gospel is very listenable. I'm talking shit that was essentially hymns with a slightly tuned up beat.
That's, you know what, fair.
Alchemy ate that shit up.
Oh my god, I've never seen so many fucking crosses in my life than I did when I lived in North Carolina.
Oh.
The South
North Carolina, you can't drive 10 minutes without seeing at least 4 churches.
I mean, I say that, and there are literally 3 churches a quarter mile of me right now, but I also live in a super small town.
Right.
So, you know.
But no, and it's one of those things. I live in a town with a mosque, a synagogue, a Hindu temple, a Buddhist temple, Unitarian church. I think
that
there's
does
a
make sense.
Scientology group.
There's a Scientology.
Like, if it is a quote unquote major world religion, there is a place here to go do that thing.
No, you guys have a bunch of religions down south. It's just mainly 3 of them that people
I'm not down south.
No, Bree was saying.
Talking about me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm in a weird spot in the middle of the country.
Yeah, there's a Catholic church, a Methodist church, and a Lutheran church, all within like a quarter mile of me. One, you can literally hear the church bells from my house because it's like at the bottom of my hill.
Modern churches no longer need bells.
No, it's a fucking it's a speaker thing. My dad's like, I know because I've been up there when it went off and it's loud as fuck. Because my dad's a carpenter and he's done work on that building and he's like, it's fucking loud.
I've had to install okay. So there was a problem at one location that happened to have like a steeple and a bell tower with a bell in it. But they had an issue. People kept stealing the clacker from inside the bell, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
So I had to install cameras in it.
To catch whoever's taking them.
Yeah. And the person who was doing it wasn't coming up from the inside of the building. They were climbing up the outside of the building.
Jesus Christ.
Well, because they thought it was somebody who had like keys to the building, right?
Yeah.
Nope. Motherfucker just climbed the side of the looking like Altair, just climbing up the side of the fucking building. And I'm like I get how that works because my brother and another good friend of mine, Steve, decided they were going to climb up the front of a 4-story bar because there were apartments above it. and hang out on the roof and have a beer.
I
So
mean,
with beers in
cool.
their pockets,
Weird flex, but okay.
with beers in their pockets, they used like a corner of the building to
Yeah,
just climb up the side of a sheer building somehow.
that's ridiculous.
And I'm like, and they climbed. They legitimately climbed just straight up 4 stories, no harness or nothing, drunk. Yeah. And I'm going, I don't know what I'm going to tell my mom or his girlfriend if they fall and die.
If they fall, yeah.
Like me, who's somewhat afraid of heights and yet had to climb ladders for work all the time. Great career choice, Dave. Was looking at that going, I see what they're doing. It's stuff that I could probably do.
I'm just
Fuck
not
that.
going to. Yeah.
I'm just not gonna. I'm just, I choose life.
Viking, the only thing that's on every street corner where I live is a fucking Dunkin'. Because New England.
You know what there's on every street corner where I live?
Liquor store?
No, but
Hookers.
yeah, that's where I thought Dave was gonna say.
What did he say? I missed it.
He said hookers. I knew, yeah.
And blackjack if you're lucky.
Zach, you live in Maine. Back me the fuck up on this. How many Dunkins are there near you? Because there are 2 within 5 minutes of me. Yeah, 2.
Isn't that one? It's like
one at literally one right next to my job, which I also work down the street. Yeah, okay. Yeah. There are 3 in Zach City. It's a New England thing.
Town. I know
town,
the rough like size of where he lives because we've talked about it before.
Oh yeah.
It's not a big place.
No, it doesn't
like
seem
it's
like
not
it.
small, but it's
But
not
it's
a big place.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Super fair, gamer.
That's
you guys,
enough internet for me. I'm going to bed.
I actually have a list of new releases for the first time in a while. We haven't had like more than one new release like a week in forever. Dave, you're gonna want to come back for this one. There's one surprise one that you guys are gonna be like, what the fuck?
Is it
Everyone
Smash Mouth?
decided to release music.
It's not
week.
Smash Mouth.
That also surprised the fuck out of me. What are they doing making music after this many years?
Literally what fucking Nugs and I were saying on Monday. By the way, if you guys aren't in the Discord, join the Discord server. Every Monday, I host Music Talk Mondays in the general voice chat. We talk about new music. We talk about old music. We listen to new release stuff.
Sometimes we have themes. One night was pop punk night. One night was hip hop night.
Yeah. I'm trying to work out the exact, flow and how we're going to keep structuring it, but it's a good time. Travis Scott released a new album called Utopia. This is his first one since the whole concert debacle where like 3 people died, or I think, was it more than that? I don't
remember how many.
There was if you guys are interested, go look up the whole situation. He played a show where like a few people died and never stopped the show, and it was this whole thing. Tori Kelly released.
Help me out. Who's Travis Scott?
He's a rapper.
Okay. How did people die at the show and why?
Baby daddy.
I don't actually know. Like, I don't remember what it was, but it was a big deal.
If I remember correctly, there's the pew pew, and he didn't notice, and yeah. So he didn't stop the show, and people were mad at him for not stopping it.
He did do a Fortnite show. Also, this is funny to talk about. Tori Kelly just released her new album called Tori. She actually, I don't know, she just had a like massive health scare over the past like week. I hope she's doing well. Post Malone finally released his new album called Austin. It's amazing. If you guys like Posty, check it out. It's really, really good. I would say legend in the metal community. Seven Dust released a new album. It is called Truth Killer. I haven't listened to it yet, but I heard it's really good. I've seen them live, which is dope. Carly Rae Jepsen just released a new album called The Loveliest Time. Haven't heard that. Tech Nine, another rapper, released an album called Bliss. Haven't
Tech
listened to
Nine
it
is
yet.
still
Making a
alive?
face.
Yeah.
I thought he died like 10 years ago.
Nah, man, he just stopped releasing music.
Oh.
Yes, and as Dave mentioned, Smash Mouth released a new single. It's called Underground Sun. It's catchy.
Well, yeah, it's Smash Mouth.
It's a
They do
song.
catchy well, and that's about it. But that's
Yeah.
fine. That's why they're successful.
Oh yeah. From Ashes to New.
I said somebody once told me though.
World is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
shed.
Well, she was looking kinda dumb with her finger and her thumb in the shape of an L on her forehead. Well, the years start coming and they don't stop coming. Ahead to the rules and ahead the ground running. Didn't make sense not to live for fun. Your brain gets smart, but your head gets dumb. So much to do, so much to see. So what's wrong with taking the back street? You never know if you don't go, or you never shine if you don't glow. Hey now. All right. Anyway,
I was gonna say, Dave. You got, if for those that don't know, Dave's mission is at least once to get us a DMCA strike. He tries
well, I
every
mean,
week.
if that's the case, it's a cool place, but they say it's getting colder. If you're bundled up now, wait till you get older. But the medium men beg to differ, judging by the hole on the satellite. Okay, the lyrical. Okay, so I did a paper on this in high school. You want to know why Smash Mouth is so catchy?
Why?
Lyrical phrasing.
Oh yeah, true. And then they also did like a shit ton of covers of other people's songs.
Well, right, but like the shit that they do, it's period. The lyrical phrasing.
Yeah.
And their song was in Shrek, which I feel like is why most of my generation knows who they are.
They had a couple songs in Shrek. Their
And
cover
Yeah,
that's
before
of
they had-
Believer, I'm a Believer, but it's their cover of
Oh.
that song. That song was originally sang by the Monkees, which I've also seen live.
Fuck the monkeys. I just like them for the same reason I like bands like Big Time Rush and the Jonas Brothers.
Like say we're a boy band. They all played instruments.
No, because they were
what?
Because they were no, but they were fabricated by corporate media. Davy Jones, they liked the way he looked and how he sounded when he was singing, so they taught him to play an instrument to be in the band.
Yeah. They were the industry attempt at recreating the Beatles. The Monkees were a good band, but they weren't the Beatles. They never achieved the success
they were
of
better
the
than the
Beatles.
Beatles.
That is a
I don't
whole
like
other
the Monkees,
conversation.
but I hate the Beatles.
That's a whole other conversation for another day. Anyway, From Ashes to New released a new album. It's called Blackout. I was super excited for this to come out. It is a fantastic album. It's very heavily influenced by Linkin Park's Meteora album. They're a part of the newer generation of what you would call new metal type bands. They're really good. But a surprise entry. Dennis Quaid, that's right, the actor himself, released an album called Fallen, a gospel record for sinners. It is a country album. That is the exact reaction I wanted from both of you.
Dennis Quaid.
Fucking Dennis Quaid.
Has he ever done music?
Apparently he's done music a bunch. Yeah.
Just came out of nowhere. And said,
Dennis
"Here's an
Quaid,
album."
the guy from like The Parent Trap, the dad from The Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah.
He said, "Fuck y'all, I'm making music."
Yeah, like the very famous actor, Dennis Quaid.
The one that had a child with Meg Ryan. That Dennis Quaid.
That Dennis Quaid, yeah.
What the fuck? No,
James, you're
just
making
continue being an okay actor and making decent movies.
Hey, he has a new movie coming out. He just said, "Screw you, I'm doing music too."
Yeah, The Rookie, Day After Tomorrow. Yeah, like the famous fucking actor. But he
The
released
Rookie.
a gospel. He released a gospel.
I forgot
album.
he was in The Rookie.
He was in The Rookie.
Yo, you know what movie I haven't seen in forever, but now I kind of want to?
What?
Rookie of the Year.
Oh, the movie's great.
This movie's so good. I like sports movies that aren't about sports, except Rudy. I love
I love
Sean
that movie.
I love Sean Astin. Rudy sucks.
I also do not
Hey.
like sports movies that are about sports.
I don't know if I could trust your taste in movies anymore. That movie was fucking excellent.
No, that movie was a glorified circle jerk for people trying to recapture their high school glory days. That movie is the movie that the dad who wants their kid to be good at football because they had a knee injury, they make their kid watch Rudy 10 fucking times a day up until they get to high school, and then they force their kid to play football, and then their kid ends up, I don't know, breaking his own fucking knees so he doesn't have to play anymore.
I
Do you
don't
wanna
think
talk
I've
about
seen
it?
this movie.
There's a lot of cultural stuff surrounding Rudy that I'm not real happy about.
Listen, I know none of any culture issues that went on around that movie. Other than the fact that he played for Notre
Rudy,
Dame.
at least here in the Midwest, where there's a lot of pressure on young men to be good at sports, is used as indoctrination material, which is my problem with the movie. Because people want to play that shit on repeat to beat it into your head that, oh, you're this big, you should be a football player. Fuck you, I like to sing and dance.
Yeah, you're bringing up some repressed memories now, buddy. Do you want to talk about it?
No, nothing about repressed memories. It's just the way that movie is utilized in society to pressure young men to do things they don't want to do is fucking ridiculous.
It's also a tale of perseverance and never giving up on your dream.
You said Rudy, I thought you were going to say
that
radio,
is easily manipulated
not
into, hey, if you
radio.
give up on this, you're a shit person and you're undeserving of anything.
That's not what I got from that at all.
No. That's not what the movie says. But it's really easy manipulated into that.
Oh, yeah, but that's if you're looking for that, Dave.
No. You don't have to be looking for it. Someone will tell you. Grow up where I did in the time I did. Someone will fucking tell you.
You know I can't do that because A, I'm younger than you, and B, time travel
When I was in
doesn't
high
exist.
school, when I was in high school, the football coach used to randomly give me detention in gym for whatever reason to make me sit down and watch Rudy because he wanted me to play football.
So we're gonna change the stream title from Pizza Bikini Time to Dave's Scorched Earth.
Look, I have strong opinions about things, but I don't care how good the piece of media is. If it's used to manipulate people to ill effect.
I'm gonna fall. Throw up. I can't spin right now.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Really?
No spinning.
What's strong with oh, you know what? You did say that you put a little too much.
Yeah, plus the edible.
Oh god, oh yeah, so it's just you're on cloud 9.
Yep, and it's 30%. It's 30% vodka that I put too much of it. I meant to do mostly orange soda, but I put too much vodka. Plus the edible is not adding well. Up and lay on the floor earlier while y'all were talking about video games because the world was spinning.
Yeah.
Also, if my stances offend anybody, you don't have to agree with me. But along with Chris and Bree, kind of my show, I get to have opinions even if you don't like them.
I get opinions.
Even though no one said you couldn't, I was just
no, I know,
content,
but this is
but
for posterity's sake, right? I want it on record that gamer, you don't want me to fight you because I'm broken and good at fighting, which means I have to win quickly. I will cheat.
Yeah.
Period. I will just stab you.
You still don't want to fight him.
Yeah. No, I've only got like 2 good fights
Like
left
I
in
am
me,
I
and
am too
you
broken
gotta
to fight
save 'em.
for real anymore. I will just shank somebody.
Wow. So I
You're
always
still
tell,
built like a wall.
Yeah.
So
Real fight
yeah.
too much energy these days.
I've got like 2 fights left in me. I think I'm gonna save them for like important shit. Like I don't know if like somebody cuts me off at Taco Bell.
I got
or,
one left in
like,
me.
Just,
Like short of just shanking people, I got like one
Yeah.
legitimate fight left in me
Yeah.
before I'm paralyzed from the waist or
Yeah,
neck down.
man. That
So.
was a joke for legal reasons.
It'll be over.
It'll
with
be over
quickly.
with quickly, and I don't have to stress. Gamer, this is why I love you.
That was
Because you
terrific.
take you take my shitty jokes and you run with it.
I just want to point this out for anyone who is confused. Dave and I are not actually arguing. This is a lot of it's for content. This is not something we normally do.
Yeah.
Neither of us are mad at each other.
Although I do have strong opinions about the movie Rudy and several of the other things. I do exaggerate them sometimes for effect. But yeah, there are lots of things that people are into that I just think are objectively horrible. Like
I can't stand Forrest Gump, and a lot of people love that movie.
I don't like Forrest Gump either. I think it
piece of shit.
I've had to see that movie more times than I have ever wanted to.
Everyone in that movie is a horrible person except Forrest, who is too
mentally disabled. How do you say it?
Well, I was going to say ignorant. Like he's too ignorant of how the world works to understand that people are taking advantage of him all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, everybody's like, oh, it's such a good movie and it's about this person's tribe. No, it's a movie about how a guy gets conned into doing stupid shit repeatedly and ends up coming out kind of okay at the end.
The only saving grace to that movie in general is the fact that Tom Hanks is in that movie.
Oh yeah, I love Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is incredible.
How can you not? Tom Hanks
and his
is
character
amazing.
is the only character in that movie I like.
It's not good. It's just not a good movie.
It's not a good movie.
You don't like Jenny, eh?
It's so bad.
Fuck Jenny. Somebody should have put a bullet in that bitch's head before she had a chance to ruin so many goddamn lives.
All she wanted was for God to make her a bird so she could fly far, far away from there.
Yeah, but instead,
she
got everyone around her sick and fucked around and found out. Didn't she? That movie could have been called Bad Life Choices, the fucking movie.
You know what?
Or
again,
How Not to Live Your Life.
From what I know about your mom, Brie, doesn't surprise me.
But her favorite actor is also Tom Hanks. So I've had to see almost every Tom Hanks movie multiple times.
Yeah, but like 98% of Tom Hanks's movie catalog are fantastic fucking films.
Dude, Big was incredible.
Big was awesome.
From The Green Mile ever again, I'm gonna smack someone.
I love The Green Mile, but Stephen King's one of my favorite
authors. It's a good movie, but I've had to see that movie way too many times.
I don't know what Burr is, gamer.
Burr. That's the sound your brain makes, Dave. Burr.
I know. That's why I'm confused. Does that actually say Burr? Or is my brain just doing a thing?
No,
it says Burr.
I think he meant
okay.
But again, we're not saying that you can't like the movie.
That makes more sense.
We just don't.
Apollo 13.
Oh, yeah, Apollo 13. I love
that movie again.
Captain Phillips is great. Sully was pretty good. Castaway was good. Saving Private Ryan.
I never saw Sully. Yo, I make Castaway jokes in Zelda all the time because I find myself making rafts with which to shock fish.
So I will say that Cloud Atlas was a good movie. Not a lot of people liked it. I did. But I'm also into weird shit like that.
My favorite Tom Hanks movie is Toy Story because I choose to watch that one versus she makes me watch the other ones.
Well, again, it sounds like you need to stop hanging out with your mom.
I try.
That's rough, man. I'm sorry.
Actually, let me not say that I'm tired of watching all the Tom Hanks movies with her. I do like Saving Mr. Banks.
I was just going to say Saving Mr. Banks is such a good movie. Also, Terminal. Have you ever seen that?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's so good. That's one you should definitely watch. I do.
The main one she watches is Forrest Gump, Apollo 13, and The Green Mile, and
Okay.
Castaway. 'Cause
I love
Castaway's on
3 of
TV
those 4
all
movies.
the time.
I love 3 of those 4 movies.
Feel like long movies, but that's because when she watches them, she knows every single one of them, every line, front to back.
Jesus Christ.
It's like watching a one-woman show.
That is like me with Harry Potter.
It's me with the Avengers. I can't even really be
what
that
is your
mad.
favorite movie? I don't think
Avengers
I've ever heard.
Endgame,
Okay. That doesn't surprise
then
me.
Avengers, Made, and then Scream.
All right, yeah, hold on. Everyone in chat, what's your fucking favorite movie? Mine is Pulp Fiction.
I've never seen Pulp Fiction, and it's on purpose.
That's right, because you're weird
my
about
favorite
some
Tom
dude
Hanks movie
bros.
is one that you guys haven't mentioned at all, which surprises me.
Which one?
The one that features Leonardo DiCaprio. Catch Me If You Can.
Oh my god, I love that movie. I always
No.
forget Tom Hanks is in that.
Yeah, he plays
That's
the
the one where
agent
one of
chasing
the-
Leonardo
Yeah.
DiCaprio. And if it hadn't
Yeah,
been for the
where-
play between those two, I don't think it would have been nearly as good.
I mean, I do love Leo.
That's the one where one of them is supposed to be arrested and the other is trying to catch him, and he just keeps running.
Also, She's Got Mail is a good movie.
I can't stand Meg Ryan.
Nobody can. Memento.
I mean, fair. Fair.
Not many people can.
Dennis Quaid apparently at one point could. They're still married.
Yeah. No, they're not. No.
Okay, at one point he could, and then they had Jack Quaid. Love Jack Quaid.
Who's actually a good actor.
I love him as Huey.
Memento. Yeah, Dave, what is your favorite movie?
I don't
All
have one.
time.
You don't have a favorite movie?
No.
What's your favorite book, Dave?
I don't have one.
What's your favorite anything?
Do you have
I'm
a favorite TV
autistic.
show?
Oh, you know what? That is fair. That is super, super fair.
I don't have favorite things typically. Like in broad categories like that.
Viking, don't get him started, please.
Please don't.
Don't.
We'll be here for 6 more hours.
Okay, gamer.
You're
Space
gonna have
Jam-
to fix this, Chris.
Space Jam will always have a special place in my heart. It's definitely one of my favorites. I have the Michael Jordan Toon Squad jersey. I have the fucking Jordans that Michael Jordan wore in that movie.
What do you mean I can't ban Fen?
Because he's a mod.
He's a mod.
Hang on, I can do it here.
Did you like the second Space Jam? I didn't
Because
see
I'm
it. I heard
signed into LTN here, so I can ban him here.
I was gonna say I could literally just do it.
I mean, I could too. It was more fun to not be able to do it and then say I was trying to.
Chris.
What?
Did you like the second one? I heard
It was a horrendous pile of shit.
I heard that it's just a marketing tool that's for Warner Brothers.
I would watch Forrest Gump over the sequel to Space Jam. It is that fucking
It's fan
bad.
service. It's not even
It's
not even necessarily bad. It's just entirely fan service,
Dave,
which means there's no substance.
That movie exists for 2 reasons. One, for Warner Brothers to just flaunt their dick everywhere and look at what we own. And the other reason is because Michael Jordan had one, and everyone still thinks that LeBron is better than Jordan, so LeBron had to have a fucking Space Jam movie. And it was awful.
Is it the same kind? So I'm guessing it's worse than the fan service that's in
nothing to do with
the
aliens.
internet.
There's no aliens in it. It just takes place inside of a fucking computer. That's not Space Jam.
So is it the worst fan service than what was Ralph
it?
Breaks the Internet?
No, that was a good movie. I like the second Wreck-It Ralph movie.
Because a bunch of people were mad that it was just fan service for everything that Disney owns. But I'm like, but there's still a storyline.
It was, dude. Space Jam was so
I thought
fucking
Wreck-It Ralph
bad.
was fine.
The second Wreck-It Ralph was good. I liked it. But no, Space Jam 2 was a pile of dog shit, and And it has nothing to do with like my opinions on LeBron James as a basketball player or anything. Like, very much so, it's a terrible movie. And it
Yeah,
kind of
fuck LeBron
portrays
James.
LeBron as being a dick.
That's probably pretty accurate.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know anything about that. Also, big ups to the James family. Hopefully their son Bronny's doing well. If you guys didn't know, his oldest son went into cardiac arrest at basketball practice in college last week. Thankfully, it looks like he's doing better, but that dude, the kid's 18, freshman year of college. Like, you know, you never want to see stuff like that. But like, still, it just
is there any word as to whether or not he's going to be allowed back on the team? Because there's primarily one reason why collegiate athletes have heart attacks.
yeah.
It's drugs.
No, he's not doing drugs. It's from it was a workout session. Yeah, no, he'll be allowed to be back on the team whenever he's like physically cleared to play.
Okay,
again.
well, no, I was gonna say, because 9 times out of 10,
Yeah.
if
But it
a
was during a
young
workout
collegiate
session.
athlete has a heart attack, it's drug related.
It's actually not. You know, most of it is it's undiscovered heart conditions actually. The majority of deaths in young athletes are due to undiagnosed heart defects.
At the high school level, sure. But if you're playing college level sport, you played at the high school level, that shit probably would have got figured out.
I don't know, not necessarily. Because if you don't have the symptoms, a lot of that shit can just come on. I would need to see some sort of like data before I can agree with it being drugs.
No, I'm not saying in his case it was drugs.
No, but in general, like I would need to actually see data
I'll see if I can find the study, because it's actually a topic I've covered before.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying that it's outrageous. I would just need to be more informed on that.
Right.
When the edible kicks in.
Hey Bree, just so you know, Think is copyrighted. Also, just so you know, that's the name of that song.
You know, honestly, I didn't know that.
I just think
did not know
Jeopardy theme music.
Do what?
I just think of it as the Jeopardy theme music.
Mm-hmm. It's called Think, and it is the Jeopardy music.
I didn't know it had a name.
It is severely copyrighted, as evidenced by a buddy of mine trying to do a Jeopardy thing on his YouTube channel, and it immediately got a takedown request from Jeopardy, basically.
I forgot.
It sounds like they don't like fun.
That even if you're not doing like an official, you just doing the noise can count as copyright and get your stuff taken down.
It's like the Carlton dance. That shit's so copyrighted.
No, it's not.
It is not. Why?
Physical actions can't be copyrighted. They can be trademarked.
You knew what I meant.
You said Carlton dance, and I wanted to do it.
No, that shit's like
do it, because the thing is, it existed before Carlton did it. It existed after Carlton did it, and regardless of whether or not Alfonso Ribeira tried to trademark it as his signature thing, because he does it on everything.
He does.
Did it on Dancing with the Stars because everybody expected him to do it at some point, so he did it.
Of course. Of course.
This kind of makes me feel like a superhero.
You look kind of like a superhero.
Is it a heating pad? I figured,
one
but I was
specifically designed to do the neck.
The neck
and the back.
Neck problems again today?
My neck.
I'm out of stuff because I
lost true.
a half an ounce of stuff. So I'm in pain. Especially since I spent all day walking around yesterday.
Oh yeah, that'll do it for sure.
Before I streamed.
For sure. I know I started playing lacrosse again, like just trying to get back into shape and stuff. Monday, I spent like an hour and a half just shooting.
You're in shape.
It was
Round is a shape.
I spent an hour and a half shooting, just using a bunch of muscles I haven't used in a while. Yeah, I woke up yesterday. I could not move. I was so fucking sore, and then I had to work on a very busy day.
You were
like
already hurting on Monday during music talk.
Yeah. So I was like today is a lot better. I can move like my ribs, my back, my shoulders, my arms, everything was just so sore. I feel like that's it. Do we have anything else we want to add, or do we wrap this up a little?
Let's say we can find a random ooh thing, but that might take longer than we have left.
Yeah.
It will. Coming up next week on Tuesday, we have the Double D Estrogen Power Oucher.
Well, they had
Chris,
a
you do
power
the thing.
outage. Unfortunately, you guys.
Well,
it is
no,
time
and that's what I was thinking was
Yeah.
they didn't do it yesterday because of a power outage, but I was
because
trying to say
Danger
the name
had
of the
no power. Yeah. But unfortunately, guys, it is that time to end. Thank you so much for being here. If you guys aren't following us on our socials, definitely do that. We're usually in the Discord server, always hanging out. The YouTube channel right now, we get uploads of Double D and LTN will start going back up this week. As well as Saturdays are going to be a fun little thing where myself and Need Nugs, who's a channel or a friend of the channel, we just do random ass tier lists that are goofy. They're a good time. The most recent one was greetings. This weekend, I believe, is fast food. So
I will be
that'll
watching and judging. I will be judging the fuck out of y'all.
Oh yeah. Well, that's kind of what we're expecting. If you guys have opinions, please leave it in the comments. That's what we want. If you haven't checked out the merch store, do it. There's a lot of good shit on there. We have a lot of fun like tapestry style blankets.
Damn, gamer.
Oh, that is rough. There's a lot of fun shit up on the merch. Hopefully the girls will be back for Double D Estrogen Power Hour. Like we were saying, Danger had a power outage yesterday, right before. There he is. Speaking of Nugs. And yeah, I think Bree and I are going to be hanging out for a little bit over in the general chat in Discord if you guys want to join us. But other than that, Dave, do you want to hit him with that outro?
Hey guys, we're gonna be raiding back over to my channel, where we came from when we started this, because I'm gonna do more Tears of the Kingdom because Zelda is fun. And I really need to finish this game so I can move on to other things and have it stop absorbing my thoughts. Because I spend entirely too much time thinking about Zelda.
Yeah. So say, did you want me to start it up, Dave?
I'm trying to do that now. Hey, there we go.
There it goes.
But yeah, until we see y'all again, keep it simple and stay weird, guys. We'll see you soon. Go to the right thing. That's still not the right thing. God damn it!